Hey, what's good everybody? It is RayalWorldConz here, and today we are back with another video. And as you guys can tell with this specific video, it is going to be a lot more different. As you guys can tell with the title, this is pretty much going to be like a historical video covering the history of the Soulaan people, also known as the African American people. So you guys are probably wondering like, what the heck is Soulaan, right? Soulaan is pretty much another way of saying African American, right? So whenever I say Soulaan in this video, I'm referring to the African Americans. So we're going to get more into detail about that, but we're going to break this down. So as you guys can see, soul, right? And then you have the two A's in the middle, which represents African American, right? And then you have N, the N at the end, which represents the end of American or nation. So we are basically a soulful American nation, right? So yeah, hopefully that's understandable. We're gonna dive in deep later on in this presentation, and yeah, let's go ahead and do this. All right, so we're up to the second slide. Alright, so Soulaan meanings. Soulaan or Sola people is another term for African American descendants of American slaves. Okay? The term was created because of AA culture being heavily affiliated with soul food, soul music. We usually call our brothers and sisters back then or today. I believe we still, call each other this, but we call each other soul brothers, soul sister. We created a musical series called Soul Train, to where like people are dancing with afros and pretty much just getting their thing on. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that is the reason why we called ourselves. Some of us call ourselves as today Soulaan, because we have so much soul. You know what I'm saying? Uh, we have a soulful voice. We put our soul into it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I hope that's understandable. I really hope that's understandable, bro. Like it's crazy, right? But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and go on to the third slide. All right. Now, when people first hear about Soulaan, a lot of people will automatically think that, oh, this is just a new group of African Americans. It's like, no, no, no. It's the same group of African Americans, just with an ethnic name. So the reason why we created this term was so that people can distinguish us from other so people can distinguish us from tribes in Africa, and also from people from the African diaspora, because a lot of people will come to a lot of people from let's say if somebody from Cameroon, Congo came to America, and then they decide to call themselves African Americans. They're not African Americans because they are not 400 years removed from Africa like we are. So it's very confusing, but we're gonna go ahead and go with the Soulaan subgroup. So as you guys can see here, we have Soulaan subgroups. Okay, so we have the Afro Seminoles, right? Basically, people who are of indigenous and African American ancestry. And then we have Americo Liberians. That also has a lot of history behind it. That was basically after people were freed. After what is it? The African descendants in America were freed. They basically said, hey, you can go to Liberia and build your nation there. And basically, a lot of African Americans left and went to Liberia to build their nation. And also, you have the Muskogos, which are basically the African American descendants of Mexico. And then you have the Samana Americans, and the Samana people. The Samana Americans are basically African Americans that inhabit the eastern region of the Dominican Republic. And then you have the Gulagichi. I think I'm a part of that tribe, because I remember when I took my DNA test, it basically said, But the Gullah Geechee, very interesting. I think they're very well known. But the Gullah Geechee are basically people that inhabited the the southern part of North Carolina. They also live in South Carolina, Georgia, and northern Florida. So yeah, they're a very small community, um, and yeah, you also have Afro Novas. Now, the Afro Novas are basically African American descendants that live in Canada. I believe they're called Black Nova Scotians or just Black Nova. And then you have the Louisiana Creoles. Now, it's kind of confusing because the Louisiana Creoles, they're very mixed. So they're typically mixed with African American and Native American ancestry, along with some French ancestry as well. So yeah, and then you have the Americans, right? These are basically African Americans that live in Trinidad, as you can see with the Trinidad flag. So yeah, I'm going to not really put too much information out there, but I will definitely cover them next time. Maybe in like another future video or something like that, so that people can, grasp and get more information on them. And yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and go with I think it's the fourth slide here, right? It's the fourth slide. So all right, so now we're in the fourth slide called the past to present labels of the Soulaan people. So, if you guys don't know, when we got here from Africa to the Americas, we were basically classified as so many things in the past. The first one goes with 1492 Indians. So, basically, the reason why I put Indian there is because there's this group that goes by the American Indian people. Basically, it's just a bunch of black Americans saying that, hey, we were here in this land first. And basically, the first thing we were called was American Indian. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely do some research on that because I've heard a lot of theories and how they have like a whole bunch of documents of us being classified as American Indians. And I'm not too sure about that because there's also another group of people called classified as American Indians along with the Negroes. We were called Negroes, but I'm gonna go with that. So the 1600 in the 1600s, when we came here on boats, we were called slaves, okay, because we were slaves here for 400 plus years. And yeah, in 1832 we were reclassified as Negro. In 1950, then we were reclassified as colored. 1965, we were classified as black. 1970, Afro American. Then 1988, African American. And back in 1999, we were called minorities. Interesting. And then in 2000, we were called blacks. Next thing you know, we were called African Americans again. So yeah, we're still called African Americans today. You have some people that call themselves black and some people that call themselves African Americans. I may be wrong about the Indian part because like I said again, Native Americans themselves are called American Indians. You just have like a specific group of African Americans that believe that they're indigenous to this land or aboriginal and stuff like that. Even when Christopher Columbus, when he went to Central America, which is like somewhere in Jamaica, Haiti, the Caribbean islands, stuff like that, he misclassified them as Indian. He thought he was in India. So I think I think that's what happened. I think he misclassified them as Indian, and that is why it's called the West Indies now. So yeah. And along with that, sometimes I always question what were the Native Americans called before Indians or Americans, American Indians, however you say it. So yeah, that's something that I always question. I'm still diving deep into like the Native American culture and stuff like that. So yeah. Anyways, so you guys may notice about why I have the future as Solon. I really think the term Solon is beautiful. It has a cool meaning behind it. It's literally just another way of saying African American, like I said before. Especially when we start to talk about our history. I think if we write it off as Solon history, it'll give people a new perspective, right? Along with that, um, it's a name created from the ground up as well, right? It's not like, oh, we are uh, taking stuff from other sources. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Do I think that everybody, like all African Americans, will begin to call themselves Solon? Maybe. Heavily depends on, how much mainstream it gets. Because a lot of people to this day, they're still calling themselves black and African American and stuff. But hey, it heavily depends, I honestly think the term Solon rolls off the tongue a lot more because it's fresh. It's different, right? So yeah. Along with that, in my personal opinion, if we want to go with the term Solon, I think it would most definitely like give people like a new perspective on African Americans, right? Because they're like Solon. Wait, what is a Solon? You get to tell them about your culture, right? Along with that, it's a lot better in my opinion than like black or black American, because like what is black American? There's black people all over the world. We're not the only black people, are we? Right? You also have African American or Afro American. Sure, it does give us like a story behind our culture, our history and stuff, like how we traveled from Africa to the Americas. But we've been in America for how long? Like 400 plus years now. So, we're kind of no longer African, but we are still African descendants. So I guess it makes sense here and there, but it's just it's like a different perspective. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Along with that, this video was basically my way of saying that I'm pretty much going to be covering some African American history, um, and yeah, man, I really think that I do want to do this. I really do want to, do like a fresh perspective because as we know it right now, our history is kind of going off the charts. And, I think that us as African Americans really need to protect our culture. We need to let our people know, hey, this is who we are. Along with that, the only thing like when we were real younger, let's be honest, the only thing we were really told was the history of us being enslaved, right? That's all we were told as far as I remembered, right? And it made us feel bad because it's like what happened before then, right? We know we were from Africa, but what tribes were we from? What countries were we from? It's just this is why our community is kind of just some of our communities are kind of let down because it's like we don't know who we are, right? This is why people are going through an identity crisis, saying that we are the Aboriginal Americans and the Egyptians. Like, not saying that we aren't. There's some African Americans with Aboriginal and Egyptian stuff, especially some. Just, hey, that's on you. You feel me? But yeah, okay. So yeah, what do you guys think about the term Solon? Do you guys think it's cool? You guys think it's bad? Just be honest. Let me know in the comments. And yeah, me personally, I think it's cool. Like, hey, Soulaan. Hey, if the Ethiopians can have their name, hey, let's go ahead and create our name from the ground up. You know, there's nothing wrong with like changing our ethnic name, right? But yeah, also in future videos of this series, you guys have seen the Soulaan subgroups. I will be going through those subgroups in separate videos. So I'll be going through like the Golagichis, the Afro Novas, what is it? So many more. I forgot. What is it? The Afro Seminoles. I'll be going through all those subgroups so that people can get a general understanding of what the heck is going on. So yeah, and there's actually a lot more African American subgroups than I shown. I believe there's one in Israel. I believe. Yeah, we are everywhere, not just here in the Americas. I just want to let y'all know. So yeah. Just be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share with others, and please hit that notification bell icon to stay tuned for more videos. If you guys don't know, I'm also an animator. I'm working on an animated series called Royal Block Strike. Please stay tuned for that. It should be coming out soon. I've just been really busy and stuff like that. That's why I haven't posted the episode 1 yet. Yes, episode 1 is still in development. It's still in development, y'all. So yeah, y'all go ahead and stay tuned for that. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely be doing animation and historical videos at the same time, and yeah, just keep a balance. You know what I'm saying? Along with that, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and yeah, please take care of yourselves, and see you guys in a future video. Take care.